This call is now being recorded.
What's up, everybody? My name is Emmy Susani, and welcome back to Chats with the Freak. I have Emma Garell today, who just released her single for Crawl. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
It's going. Normal Tuesday right before Thanksgiving, getting everything ready for the big holiday. I work in food service, so that's my day job. It's a little hectic.
Yeah, same.
So, you just released a single, Crawl, which has a really awesome music video for it. I dug it a lot. What can you tell me about the track?
I mean, the track is definitely a lot more personal than like some of my older stuff. I kind of, life kind of hit me really hard this past year, and I just started, I guess, putting a lot more of my personal life and self into my music. And yeah, that's kind of just like all the new stuff that's coming out is pretty personal to me. So I have it really close to my heart, but yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I dug the track, and it definitely seemed like a very personal track, so I definitely picked up on that. So is Crawl going to be on an album that you're working on, or is it just kind of a single for right now?
For right now, it's probably just a single. I'm kind of thinking about, even today, I was actually thinking about it, maybe putting out an EP later in the early of next year. But I'm not sure, because I don't know, singles seem to be the thing right now that everybody's really into, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like maybe in like the 80s and 90s, it was definitely more of an album kind of era, but now, like, I think it depends on the band or the artist too.
Yeah.
On
sure.
if singles work or if it's just like full like concept albums. But yeah, I totally agree with that. I think like with Spotify and social media right now, we're living in a time where albums kind of, it's not that they're not valid, because like I said, it depends on the artist, but I feel like singles to a degree, they just want that next fix of the artist.
Yeah, for sure. And like part of me, I don't know, of course I want an album because I grew up, listening to people that I adore and they put out albums and stuff, but I'm not sure that that's the thing right now. I'm not sure that's the best move. But I also feel like all of the songs that I'm making right now, I don't really know how to put them on an album. They kind of all have like their own little universe in my head, and putting them all together doesn't feel right. So I don't know.
Right. No, I totally get that. And I think that it works for whatever artist, however you want to go about it. Because like I said, I've seen singles work for a lot of artists, like Shinedown being one of them. They kind of went about a year without even releasing an album, and they were just dropping single after single, and it was working for them really well.
Yeah. I think it's just the new thing, the new wave.
Yeah, new wave of Spotify and all that online streaming nonsense.
For sure.
So what made you want to pursue music? Is this something you've always done, or was there something that you like can look back on and be like, oh, that like started me?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I always wanted to like do music, just like I feel like most people do. I feel like that's like a common thing, is like they see, famous people and they're like, oh, I want to do that. I feel like everybody has that desire. But it probably wasn't until I was like 17 and for my birthday, I got Pretty Reckless tickets. And so I went, and at that time I was like, okay, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to, do all those things. And I was in music and I did have a band and stuff, but I didn't really feel like it was something that I could do for a living. And I just like went to that concert, and just seeing her and the opener band and just like seeing them, something, I don't know, it sparked something in me, and I was like, you know what, I can do this and I'm going to do it. I'm not, I'm young and I might as well try. And so the next day I like put out an ad for like a new guitar player to like start a band, and it's kind of just been like that ever since.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I can totally relate to that, because there's certain nights I kind of had that because I do band photography as well, And when I saw 1,000 Foot Crutch, they were playing at this little bar in Pittsburgh, and I just like sat there and looked around, and I was like, I need to be around this all the time.
Yeah.
Like this feeling is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, the feeling of like a live show and feeling the crowd and feeling all of that is
for sure.
like you can't even explain it. It's surreal.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like, for me, not every night is great, but I played a gig on Sunday, this past Sunday, that really was just, like, one of those really amazing nights, and the energy was so good, and all the bands on the bill were just phenomenal, and it really inspired me, you know, again, and I was like, wow, like, this is so great, and I just felt so inspired by all the bands, and I was really impressed by this one band on the bill otherwise. They were really awesome. I was really into them.
I've heard about them. I haven't seen them yet. I did notice that you played a show on Sunday with Blacktop Mojo, and I've seen them a couple times. So energetic.
Yeah, they were very energetic. Their bass player was like all over the stage. He was like a little monkey. It was so cool.
Yeah, I love them. I discovered them earlier this year, and I thought they were really good. I thought they were great. That show was down in Richmond, right?
Huh?
That show was down in Richmond, right?
Yes, it was at the Canal Club.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been to Richmond twice, I believe, and I really like the scene down there. You're from the Virginia area, right?
Yeah, I'm from Richmond, born and raised.
Oh, that's awesome. I love the scene down there. I was down there in June for the first time. I went over to the Norva, I believe the venue was called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I kind of like the scene down there. Like, I feel like everybody had like a really good vibe, and the crowd was really like pumping.
Yeah, the music scene down here is very, like, we really are super supportive of each other, which is nice, because I know that that's not always the case in some music scenes. I just feel like everybody's, like, rooting for each other. But right now, I feel like the rock part of the music scene down here is very small. It's very metal heavy. I mean, we got Lamb of God and, like, War Bar and like all that stuff down here. So like the metal scene is super duper heavy. But yeah.
Yeah. It's just trying to get like the mid ground between metal and rock. Yeah. I hate when people like lump that all together too, because it's like Lamb of God and Led Zeppelin are not the same thing.
Not the
people
same,
try to like throw them into the category all the time. It's awful.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, I know you mentioned the Pretty Reckless was obviously a big influence on you, and kind of listening to some of your music, I got a little bit of a like Joan Jett kind of vibe off of it. What other artists like inspired you and like you kind of listened to when you needed to like get some inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, the Pretty Reckless is a constant for me. I don't listen to their music as much as I used to. Just waiting for that new album to come out. But I mean, Joan Jett was always like growing up, like that was kind of my thing. And Alanis Morissette is somebody that I look to a lot. And I listen to a lot of people who aren't really in my genre. Like Dolly Parton is somebody that I listen to a lot and get a lot of inspiration from. And there's this kind of like alternative folk singer, Jade Bird. I really like her. She's like folky, but she has this grit to her voice that is very like Joan Jett, and it's really awesome. And I don't know. I mean, those are kind of the chicks. I got a lot of dudes that I look up to a lot in rock, so, but yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Joan Jett, and I love what she did for like women in music too. Not to go on a little bit of a feminist rant with that, but I love what she did, because I feel like women guitar players or women in the rock scene were like, she did a lot for that, because now it's not common now, but it's more accepted now than it was back then.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely more accepted. I mean, not always. I even had a moment the other day, like at a gig a few weeks ago, I kind of was getting the vibe, and that might have just been me, but, you know, it was a very male-heavy bill, and I kind of felt a little bit like they were kind of like, oh, so you know, think you can play with the big boys, like, because I was really, like, the only girl there, and I was kind of getting that vibe, but I think that it's still around sometimes.
Oh no, I totally agree with that. Like I mentioned earlier, I do a lot of band photography and stuff, and that's a very male-driven thing. And a lot of the guys are really welcoming, especially in the Pittsburgh area because that's where I'm based out of. They're very welcoming, but then I go to other shows where, like, I was at a show in Cleveland earlier this year, and I was talking to another photographer, and he's like, oh, well, how does it feel always being the only female here? And I'm just like, dude, calm down.
Yeah, I definitely, people ask basically the same thing to me very often.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that has that. And sometimes I sit back and I'm like, okay, am I just feeling weird because I'm the only girl here? Am I making this weird, or is this still weird?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, it's odd sometimes, but it's cool when you get that very welcoming feeling with everybody, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I love that so much.
So obviously, no matter how much you love something and how much it's like how you are, everybody needs like an escape from something. So what's your escape when you just need to like put the music off for a minute and go do something? What's your escape from that?
Probably hiking or collaging. I do a lot of those things when I just like kind of need to be alone. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do most of the time for like fun, like my hobby. And it kind of allows me to like, I don't know, just really be super emotional with myself. Like when it comes to collaging and like even just being in nature is super important to me. So yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. So like collaging, you like do like scrapbook type stuff or like mosaic?
No, it's more like mosaic stuff. It kind of started out where I was just doing like random shit, but now it's more, I make a collage based on one of my poems, and then I take my poems and I put it into the collages. So it's kind of like double hitter.
That's really cool. That's cool. I do like photo collages and stuff like that, but I've never been able to like artistically look at like mosaics and stuff like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we're getting obviously to the end of 2020. Not 2020, we're getting to the end of 2019 going into 2020, if I can talk. What does 2020 hold for you?
Lots of new music, I can tell you that. Everything else feels like really up in the air. I mean, there's a lot of whispers of certain like tours with certain bands, but it's like so nothing has been set in stone, so it's kind of just like waiting to see what's gonna happen. I feel like probably January, February I will know for sure what's going down. But yeah.
Just a waiting game right now. I definitely can relate to that. Waiting to see and waiting for finalizations on things. So thank you for taking time to talk with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening in on another episode of Chats with the Freak. I hope to catch you next Freaky Friday.